Good afternoon, Dr. B. I am going to be presenting my Prezi on early childhood development for uh, different domains today. So, overall, just kind of a preview of what I'm going to be talking about. I'll be talking about the different stages and domains within early childhood and different strategies that can be provided with each of these stages from ages birth to 3. The 5 domains that I'll be talking about are social and emotional development, language development and communication, cognitive development, physical motor development, and creativity in the arts. And in each of these developments, I'll be talking about the components within each of them as well. Something that I have really learned that I think is really important to note is that each of these developments and domains need equal balance within a child's life because they each play a different role, and if they're not balanced, they could end up affecting one another. So the first domain that I'll be talking about is social and emotional development. The purpose of social and emotional development is for an infant and toddler to be able to build trust and to find emotional security within the adults that are taking care of them, whether that be teachers, their parents, grandparents, or maybe even other family members or family friends. They will also be developing self-awareness, self-regulation, and learning how to develop relationships from other children and adults. The components within social and emotional development are trust and emotional security, self-awareness, self-regulation, and relationships with other children. Trust and emotional security is often shown when children begin engaging in behaviors with other people, like caregivers or other children as well. Children from birth to 3 often will show favoritism for an adult, which shows that trust and emotional security. They show caution towards unfamiliar adults because they don't know who they are or what to expect. They're looking for that safety. They look for support in unfamiliar situations. So that's an example of looking for a trusted adult and an emotional connection with others. So some strategies for the social and emotional for trust and emotional security are, for example, when you are feeding a baby, to make sure that you are having eye contact with them and talking with them in very gentle tones. For children that are older infants, make sure that for toddlers, make sure that you are letting them know when you're going and when you'll be back, so they have an idea to know that it's okay. You're reassuring them that it's okay and you're going to be back. And then for infants, it's allowing them to have that trust and sense of security as well, to know that you're leaving, you'll be back. Kind of all goes together. So next one is self-awareness, which is often shown through expression of different emotions, feelings. Children are beginning to, near the end of the birth to 3 months and even in 2 years, I believe, to learn different emotions. They're becoming more aware of who they are, and they're becoming more confident in the things that they are doing and knowing that they can accomplish things. Some strategies as an adult for self-awareness are to talk with a baby and really use their name even as infants in conversation. As you're talking with them, help them understand the different emotions and facial expressions for maybe even other babies or children. And it's also important for us adults to help children find activities that children can be able to do on their own to build self-help skills, but also in doing activities on their own, they become self-aware of who they are. And the fourth one is relationships with other children. Within this part of the domain, children's interests and awareness of other children begin to increase more. They begin interacting with other children and responding to them as well. They respond and identify emotions and feelings of others, show consideration and care, which is sometimes shown through even mimicry of what they've seen from adults. They begin building social skills, verbalizing their expressions, their feelings, the things that they want, or even if they're hungry or if they have a diaper change. And most importantly, they learn through play. It is really important some strategies that are really important to pay attention to within relationships and to help them build relationships are paying attention to child's responses, specifically babies, and begin to identify when they are looking for security and for your help. Make sure to bring something that gives them security, whether it be a blanket or a specific toy, with when you're going to a new place that they're unfamiliar of, to give them some security as well. And then make sure that you're giving clear expectations within an early childhood education environment. You can also give them opportunities to play with other children. Talk about what these children may be doing or what you see that they could be feeling as well. And here's a picture that I felt went really well with the concept of social and emotional development that we had talked about previously, making eye contact with the child when you're bottle feeding them and talking to them. So the next domain is the language development and communication domain. And what I felt that I got from all the readings and information is that the purpose of language development and communication was to obtain the ability to use language to learn how to talk with other people around the children, learning to listen, learning to speak, learning emerging literacy skills, and more. Different components are listening and understanding, communication and speaking, and emergent literacy. So the first component is listening and understanding. And that often looks like children who are listening attentively to what they are hearing, whether that be through song or from an adult. They display nonverbal interactions, and they learn different gestures, words, questions, and daily routines that they'll be going through. Some strategies for this area are for a baby are talk with the babies and allow them to respond to you, even if obviously they can't verbally, but allow them to respond gesture-wise, and use their name as you are talking to them. That's another one, even for infants, is to use their name as you're talking to them. For older infants. For toddlers, you can, again, explain what people are going to be doing. Children are beginning to learn to listen, to understand. So the whole relationship of social, emotional, and this listening and understanding concept kind of tied together. The next one is communication and speaking, which looks like expression of what children want through different sounds that they may make, gestures they may indicate to try to tell you they want something, to communicate, or even just them learning how to try and talk with somebody. Strategies for that may look like adults talking with a baby and copying the things that they are doing and saying, and seeing if they will mimic you back by even you mimicking them. And asking questions to a child, even if it's a toddler older infant who doesn't necessarily know how to respond, allow them to learn to be able to respond. It's how they learn to communicate and speak, whether it's verbally or non-verbally. The next one is emergent literacy, which is when children really find an interest in stories that you may be reading in class and songs which may be associated with motion and dance. And these are strategies even for this. Children beginning to draw things, create pictures, and more. Some strategies for this, whether it's for an infant, a strategy is to be able to sing songs to them. For an older infant, you can sing songs and open a book that specifically doesn't have a lot of text, but is very colorful. And toddlers, you can do songs as well and add motions because they remember things. They build on that memory concept. The next domain, first, this is a picture that I thought was really cute because it goes with the language and a baby learning to talk. The next domain is cognitive development. And what I got from this one for the purpose was that really just analyzing the skills and knowledge that children begin to take in and learn. Another big concept of this was play. Children develop so much cognitively through play because they're trying to explore and interact within the environments that they are in. Components of cognitive development are exploration and discovery, memory, as I just talked about actually, problem solving, and imitation and symbolic play. Play is a very big factor when it comes to really multiple domains you can put it in, but cognitive development is a big one. So the first one is exploration and discovery, which looks like children paying attention to the people, whether that be adults or young children around them. Infants and toddlers are beginning to use their senses: taste, touch, smell, hear, see, to explore their surroundings and the environments that they are in. They are paying attention to the colors, pattern, shapes, and the images that they see in a classroom or in a home. And they really watch for repetition, which is what they learn from. Some strategies for this are that babies specifically explore by looking for things, by grabbing things, by sucking on things like their fingers. For example, I have a 6-month-old niece, and I know this is part of the older infant, but she's already began grabbing your nose and grabbing your hair and grabbing her little rattles, sucking on her fingers to figure out, okay, what is this? What do my hands do? What do these other things do? What are they? For older infants, as I said, they begin to explore your facial features. And for toddlers, you can allow them to explore the surroundings, whether it is inside a room, inside your house, or outside. There's so much for them to be able to learn from just by exploring and being able to discover. Second component of cognitive development is memory, which with birth to 3 children, will begin to retain and process information that they are learning. They will begin to recognize caregivers. They'll begin to recognize a daycare center or their home or other objects that are valuable to them. They will apply information that they are learning through things that they may be doing, or they will look for things that they want. Some strategies for memory for children are playing hiding games with toys, playing peekaboo, toys for birth to 8 months, and peekaboo can really come in at like 8 to 18 months. So that repetition of games that children really like. And then for toddlers, again, repetition, but you can do repetition with song, singing a song with actions over and over, because children learn through discovery. They learn through doing things. And they remember things through actions and things that you're doing a lot better. The third one is problem solving. Children at this age begin to just really explore, investigate, and try to figure out how specific items or toys are used, what they're meant for. They use creativity and a variety of strategies to try to figure out what an item is meant for and how it's used. And they use prior knowledge, whether it's things they've seen or things that they have already learned on their own from play. Strategies for this are allowing them to explore objects so that they can problem solve and figure out what an object is for, and allowing time for both infants and toddlers to do that, to explore, to move around, to observe things and figure out how things work. Another strategy is allowing toddlers to solve problems on their own, which will eventually allow them to create autonomy and build confidence while they're trying to problem solve. The last one is imitation and symbolic play, which at this stage children are taking in and displaying different sounds, gestures, and behaviors that they are seeing, that they are learning. They're playing with props in different areas of a classroom in their own ways, and they're beginning to express play as well. Strategies that I wrote down for this are imitating what babies do or say. So an example of this is my 6-month-old niece just learned how to pretend like she's giving a kiss. And not that she learned how to do it, but she mimicked in play with her grandma. She listened for the sounds. Another one would be allowing kids as they begin walking around and exploring to use props for pretend play of all sorts of imaginative topics. I mean, kids have big brains for such little people and think of many different things. This is a picture that I thought was really cute because the child is really getting to just kind of explore, as we've talked about, and figure out what tools are for based off of what they have seen as well. So we have 2 domains left. I will try to get as close to the 20-minute limit as I can. The 4th domain is physical and motor domain, which is focusing on both physical skills and skills that they're building within their brain to promote their health and well-being. During this stage, children will begin to apply different connections of people and abilities that they are learning together and increase their abilities of their body coordination. Components that I'll be talking about physical and motor development are gross motor development, fine motor development, physical health, and well-being. The first component is gross motor development, where children will begin moving their body through different sources of activities. They'll be learning how to balance muscles, like when they're walking. They're going to balance their muscles. They're looking for stability. They're going to grow in control and coordination. And they are going to do things with the goal in mind. A child is going to try walking in order to be able to walk on their own, for example. Strategies for this as an adult or caregiver would be infants. You can place them on the floor so that they can begin building muscles and they can begin trying to do things like turn over. When children can move and begin walking, you want to give children space for roaming and exploring different areas of the room to continue building that gross motor development, which also could be exploring different environments like going outside to a playground, which for toddlers is another one. We can take them outside to a playground as a strategy. Fine motor development is the next one. In fine motor development, children are beginning to use smaller muscles, I guess you want to say. So like they're using holding different small objects within their hands, whether it be blocks, balls, etc. Or it's a child holding your finger. So next one, those are the strategies as well for that. The next one is physical health and well-being. In physical health and well-being, children will be able to display different characteristics of healthy development. They'll respond when physical needs are met. So for example, physical need like having to go to the bathroom. Children will indicate physical needs verbally or non-verbally. They'll associate in physical care development, start to develop self-help skills on their own and understand what behaviors are safe for them and what are not. Strategies that caregivers can do for this are holding a baby in order to issue a feeling of closeness, comfort, trust, and security, which is very important for motor, like mind-wise development. Taking a child to doctor's visits when they need to, getting shots when they need to have them, teaching them words like no, and letting them know if something is really hot, that they shouldn't be touching it. Alright, and this is just a picture here that I thought was, again, very well representative of the physical and motor development as children are beginning to grow and learn and play. And the last domain that I'll be talking about is creativity and the arts. With creativity, children, I think something that I really learned is that children are continually trying to learn new things. They're continually trying to figure out how things work in the world, which is perfect when it comes to this topic, because creativity and letting them express themselves, whether it's through doing arts and crafts, songs, singing, dancing, they are being able to explore different areas and build different understandings. They're also able to build a sense of accomplishment, and in essence, a sense of accomplishment. They are also able to have fun, get engaged, and try to understand the world around them as they are building motor and cognitive skills. Again, some strategies, I kind of said some of these already, would be musical expression, which could be done through doing songs, dance, playing with musical toys, listening to recorded music where they also can learn music from, independently painting a picture and saying like, hey, I can do this on my own, or dancing or drawing. So that is all for my 5 domains. Here are the resources. Sorry that I went a couple minutes over, but I hope you enjoyed the presentation and the pictures that came with it.